We are knee deep in the springtime, maybe waist deep, honestly. Summer is around the corner. I know for a lot of you guys, it's already hot. So you are already breaking out your summer fragrances. But for many of us, depending on where you are in the world, it's slowly warming up or rolling into these hotter days. So I wanted to get a little bit of a head start on some fragrances to get on your radar as per this title that you should be checking out preemptively right now before summer really rolls in. But again, if you happen to be in the thick of the heat already, then these fragrances are going to do very well for you. I've got a pretty random assortment, and I think a lot of the fragrances you'll see here are ones you don't see talked about a whole lot. So hopefully there is some newness for you in this video. And if you're interested in checking any of these fragrances out, they will be linked down below in the description, which will take you to Max Aroma, who is bringing you guys today's video. We talk about them every single month. They're one of the top places on the internet to get fantastic niche and designer fragrances at discounted prices. You can get these awesome travel decants, faux leather. They're easy to take with you, and they give you a chance to try a fragrance in a smaller form for less money before splurging on that large full bottle. So you get a chance to find out if you love it or not. So if you'd like to see what Max Aroma has to offer and you want to support the channel in the process at no extra cost to you, then again, check out that link down below. But let's dive right into it. This first one up here is new to my collection. It's definitely been getting quite a bit of talk since it came out. I want to say a year or two ago, but I'm late to the game. And it is from Micallef. It is GnTonic. First of all, the presentation alone is absolutely gorgeous. It's just really fun. It's very classy, and it's perfectly representative of the scent itself. I'm going to give this a spray on a blotter here. Uplifting. I get this green, leafy, kind of minty, bubbly freshness. Definitely reminiscent of a gin and tonic drink. There's an effervescence here. There's a cooling quality, probably a good bit of juniper berry in here. Gonna give you a quick pro and a quick con about this fragrance and my wearing experience. The pro is that due to what I believe or perceive to be a large amount of aroma chemicals in this fragrance, it has great longevity. I was surprised by how long it was lasting on my skin. I was getting easily 8+ hours where I was still detecting it around me, which is cool. I think most people would be happy to get that out of a fresh fragrance, so that is a total plus. The downside for me, but mostly for my wife, when she smelled this on me, she said, the dry down reminds me of a bunch of basic mainstream fragrances out there. And I can see what she means by that. I'm reminded of the dry down of something like Acqua de Jo. It has this mass market synthetic, but not in a terrible way, dry down, which again, it kind of plays to helping it last, but it is a little bit of the drawback when it comes to how it actually smells. It definitely doesn't smell all that natural. Most of the naturalness is in the opening. Now, don't get me wrong, that dry down, still really pleasant. It's just unremarkable. It kind of loses its luster, in my opinion. It loses a little bit of its personality, but still nice, still easy to wear, super versatile. It's going to be very likable. So that is Micallef GnTonic. Let me know if you already enjoy this one. If you're looking for one of the most realistic orange fragrances that you can try and smell, please look no further than Hermes Eau d'Orange Verte. Now, a lot of people will complain that this fragrance is not worth trying because it's essentially like spraying Dasani on yourself. They're saying it just doesn't last. It lasts for nothing at all. So beautiful. And in my experience, yeah, it's super light. It does not last more than maybe a handful of hours, 4 hours at the most. But think about what it is. It is this minty, orangey, woody, light fragrance, kind of watery, maybe fresh, aromatic, very natural smelling. How could a fragrance like this last more than like 6, 7, 8 hours? As I always say, expecting that out of a fragrance like this is like wearing a t-shirt in a blizzard and not understanding why you're cold. This is not the tool for all day longevity. Now, if that's a deal breaker for you, then so be it. Pass it up, move on. You're losing nothing, and there's no point in complaining. But if you're more concerned about the scent experience, how it affects you emotionally and mentally, then you got to check this out. This is a classic. It's been around since the 1970s. It smells like the most natural orange rind with minty, green, woody facets. It's just so uplifting, so refreshing. Something you can spray liberally. You could honestly spray this like 10+ times and go outside on a hot day. And yeah, you'll smell it for those first few hours, maybe 3-4 hours, and then it will pretty much disappear. But again, it's just for a refresher. It's something you put on earlier, and then you can put on something else later if that's what you're looking for. Definitely more of a functional piece in your wardrobe if it's one you want to have. That is Hermes Eau d'Orange Verte. Lovely stuff. As you're probably noticing, for the hot weather, I am always recommending fresher scent profiles. I know that goes without saying, but some of us are a little bit newer to this fragrance hobby, so I want to be clear about that. These fresher, more aromatic, minty, leafy, citrusy, watery, fruity profiles is what I personally gravitate towards for the hot weather. They just come to life in the heat, and they're going to be non-offensive to people around you. So that's what we're talking about. That's what's comprising this list. Anyway, the next fragrance up is one that actually surprised me. I did not expect to like this fragrance as much as I do, and I've only liked it more and more the more I've gotten to know it. This is from Bvlgari, a release from a year or two ago. This is called Man Rain Essence. It is meant to depict the peaceful, calming quality of rain, of the rainwater from the sky, and you get that vibe. There's a fresh water component here. It doesn't smell like the ocean. It's more like a river. There's no saltiness. It is fresh, clean water, so soothing. There's tea in here that makes it soft and calming. The lotus flower is what contributes to the watery nuance here. And there's a slightly dry, woody backbone here that gives it a masculine feel, masculine edge. So it doesn't just smell like water. It does smell like a fragrance you want to smell on your body as a man, but it's refreshing. It is so inoffensive. It's also not completely generic. I think that's what I appreciate the most about it. Definitely a personality. I'm looking for something that stands out as its own thing. It doesn't smell like a blend of everything else out there. So I applaud Bvlgari for giving us something a little bit special. So that is Bvlgari Man Rain Essence. Let me know if you've tried this one. If you haven't yet, once again, link down below to check it out. A few years ago, Maison Francis Kurkdjian released a trio of fragrances paying homage to 3 of their very popular fragrances, but in a lighter format. It was called the Cologne Forte collection. Unfortunately, it was not met with super positive reviews. Obviously, your mileage will vary in terms of your taste, but it seems like a lot of people just were not moved by them. And also, a lot of people seem to deem this one the best of the 3. And honestly, I haven't tried the other 2, so I can't speak for that, but I just happen to have this one, so I feel
like I'm in the in crowd, like I have the one everyone likes.
Acqua Celestia Cologne Forte. I do have the original Acqua Celestia back here behind me somewhere, and this does remind me a little bit of that. I actually prefer this to the original Acqua Celestia because the original reminds me of a shampoo. It's really nice. It just has this floral quality that feels like maybe more of a women's shampoo, but it is pleasant. But this has a little bit more bite to it for me, a little bit more citrusy, kind of a lemony feel, very musky. It's green, kind of watery smelling. It is still a little bit floral, but not quite as much, at least for me. Perfectly unisex, maybe more right down the middle than the original, at least if you're asking me. So it's an easy one to wear. It does have a personality to it, which I'm looking for out of my fragrances. I don't want just something bland and generic. Nothing wrong with those scents, but I appreciate that it is kind of its own thing. It does smell a little bit memorable, and it's going to be perfect for the heat. This is definitely one to try. It has a little bit more of a classy feel, maybe a touch elevated in its vibe, but by no means super serious. So it's still going to be pretty versatile. MFK Aqua Celestia Cologne Forte. Right before filming this video, I was gathering the fragrances I wanted to include. I was spraying them, smelling them, seeing how I feel about them, seeing if they would make it into this video. I sprayed this one on a blotter, and I was reminded, first of all, of how much I love this fragrance. It is so definitive. It's pretty unique. It's beautiful. It's natural. It is a little bit provocative while still being very wearable and approachable, but at the same time, it's honestly too strong. I don't say that very often, but this fragrance is too powerful. I sprayed it on the blotter. I left it out. It was absolutely filling this room, and I was struggling because I was spraying other fragrances and smelling them. I'm like, why can't I smell this? It's because this fragrance was filling up the air, and it was just like blocking anything else from getting in. So I had to open a window. I had to throw the blotter away in another room and air it out, and then give my nose a break before I started smelling again. So if that sounds at all appealing to you, then maybe check out Oman Luxury Wanderlust. I don't mean it being too strong as a dig towards the fragrance. I don't mean that as a reason to not try it. If anything, it's just a warning that this is an incredibly powerful, fresh fragrance. It will overwhelm you if you spray it the way you spray every other fragrance. This is something I would not spray more than twice. I am not kidding you. You've been seeing me spray these fragrances here on camera. I'm not going to do it with this one because I already did. I'm not even going to take off the cap to smell it from the atomizer right now because I've smelled it a lot in the past like 20 minutes, but it's so good. This is very green, grassy, ripe, fig. It's fruity, but it's green fruity, still a little bit sweet. It's woody, green, fruity fig, thick and juicy, but fresh. The greenness comes off as grass to me. It's like freshly cut grass with fruit and woods. Beautiful fragrance to wear, especially if you're going to be outdoors. Again, you don't need more than a couple sprays. It will last you pretty much all day long. If you do want to wear it to an office setting or to work, be mindful of your fellow coworkers and people who have to cross your path. Please be considerate. As I like to say, I think it's okay to be selfish with your fragrances in regards to the type of fragrances you wear. You can wear whatever you want because that's for you. The scent profile, the scent experience is for you. But when it comes to performance, that's where we need to be considerate of others. And that comes down to how much you put on. So spray light with this one, guys, please. We can put the sissy sprayer thing aside. I don't care. You're gonna smell disgusting if you spray 5 or more times of this. I'm just telling you. That is Wanderlust from Oman Luxury. This next one is from the House of Precious Liquid. Honestly, I think this is my first time talking about it in a video. And I feel like this fragrance has matured in the bottle since Precious Liquid sent this to me sometime within the last 6 months or so, I wanna say. And when I first tried it, I wasn't really digging it. It wasn't really something I found pleasant. It was actually kind of dirty smelling. So I put it away. I haven't touched it since then. I happened to pull it out and I gave it a spray again just before filming and was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I'm like, I think this changed. Unless I'm crazy, this changed within the past few months. Once again from Precious Liquid. This is called Acqua Oud. Yes, it is this aquatic woody fragrance. I don't get hard to enjoy oud at all. It's a very natural smelling, oceanic, salty, watery, dry, woody fragrance. Maybe in the realm of something like Oud Mineral from Tom Ford, but nowhere near as seaweedy as that can be. Nowhere near as smoky as that can be. And there's an infusion of fruit in here. You have some melon, you have some pineapple. So there is this fruity sweetness that is kind of a ray of sunshine in the dark water. It smells lovely. Smells kind of vacation-like. There's a fun tropical aspect to it while still having this slightly mysterious quality with that woodiness. So something that you could also wear maybe on a summer evening, a little bit more dressed up. So maybe check this one out. Again, surprised me. I'm glad I gave it some time and I'm going to be giving it some sprays this summer. That is Precious Liquid Acqua Oud. And our final fragrance here is definitely the cutest fragrance just based on the bottle. Tiny little red bottle from Clive. This is called Crab Apple Blossom. And this came in a set of 3. You can actually get that full set at Max Aroma, but you can also get this bottle on its own, but you can also get the smaller travel spray, which I highly recommend, which is going to be cheaper than these guys. But this is a beautiful fragrance. Once again, I'm kind of having a revisiting to Clive this year. I wrote them off for many years after trying 1 or 2 of their scents that didn't move me, but I'm happy to come back to this collection. This is this beautiful mojito floral fragrance. There is this sweet fruitiness. There is this bubbly, sharp, bright, almost boozy quality, but not overly boozy. And it is kind of soft and floral. It's fresh. It's aquatic. There's this beautiful watery aquatic quality to it. It kind of rides the line between casual and a little bit formal. I think it can be incredibly versatile for just about every occasion you can think of while still smelling pretty unique. And again, definitive. It has its own personality to it. When I first tried this, I actually did a first impressions video. It wasn't my favorite. I didn't dislike it. It just wasn't really remarkable to me. But I've seen a lot more talk about it since then. I've seen people in my comments saying, oh, Crab Apple Blossom, you got to try it. You got to come back to it. So I've come back to it and realized this is actually beautiful. So I'll be giving this some wear this upcoming summer as well. But let me know if you've already tried Crab Apple Blossom from Clive. And once again, you can get it down at the link below to Max Aroma. So check it out. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, check out these fragrances if you haven't already, and let me know if you have down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.